Okay, so what are the red states? Confederacy. What are the blue and red states? And then what's the blue? Union. Okay, so I talked about how the war really didn't start till April. Even though the South succeeded in November, we're having a problem at Fort Sumter. What have they run out of? Supplies. And so he writes a letter to Jefferson Davis saying, hey, I'm just sending supplies, provisions. What does Jefferson Davis take that to be? Weapons. And so this is going to lead to the calling up of arms, and we're going to see that 4 more states will leave the Union. Then Winfield Scott, he comes up with this plan. What is this part of the plan right here? Capture what? What is this part of the snake doing? Blockade. Don't let them get what in? And don't let them send out what? Okay, over here, the head of the snake. What is the head of the snake trying to capture? The Mississippi, because there's an important city on it. Vicksburg is what's coming into Vicksburg. The supply coming from where? Texas all the way down to, because who has taken over Mexico? Napoleon, and he's secretly getting things in the back door, violating what doctrine? Monroe. So we talked about this first battle. Who had the better soldier? The South. Who had more soldiers? The North. Okay, so in this battle of Bull Run, who really wins? Okay, we know in the end neither, but who wins the victory? The South, and they have 30 miles to press onto D.C., do they? No. Why not? Why doesn't the South press onto D.C.? Oh, because the spectators came out, left their baskets, right? And now we know one of the biggest problems the South had with their disadvantages was what? They lacked food, right? They weren't just going to feed them cotton. So our soldiers from the South did what? Sat down and had what? Food, and then they got what? Or they wanted something sweet and they deserted, right? And so this, y'all say, yet the South really doesn't win, because what should they have done? Pressed on to D.C. They could have gotten there in a day. We see in D.C. they realize, oh my gosh, we're losing. What do we need to teach our soldiers? How to fight, stay on the fighting lines, and then also, do we need to fortify the front door of D.C.? Yes, they're going to put the Navy out there. They're going to put Army out there to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Where we're going to start is the Western Front. Over here, they wanted to capture all the rivers. Why are the rivers important? It brings in supplies. It brings in resources. So we see Grant, is he actually trusted? No, they put him over here because they don't trust him. And we see he captures the Tennessee and Cumberland River, so nothing can flow out to them. And then we get to Shiloh, where he gets criticized, because what does he just keep on throwing at the Confederate soldiers? His men. And so that's why people criticize Grant, because he's going to just keep on throwing his men at them. Does he care about their lives? No, but he gets this nickname, Unconditional Surrender Grant. This other guy, forgot, is supposed to be coming up through New Orleans, but does he get to Vicksburg? No. So now Grant gets to Vicksburg, and he basically controls the Mississippi River. It falls on July 4th. Will the South celebrate July 4th anymore? No. Why not? Vicksburg was seen as what to them? Their fall of their war, right? Because now they don't have resources. Do they have food? No. Do they have munitions? No. Can they continue to wage war? No. What was the other battle that happened at the same time of Vicksburg? Gettysburg, right? And both of those together stopped foreign recognition. So what we're going to look at now is Grant, what's going to happen to him after Vicksburg? Promoted to the Eastern Front. And this is when Sherman comes in. He's going to go to Chattanooga. What is he trying to capture there? Chattanooga, I think about the railroads. Is he just going to leave them on the ground, or what is he going to do with them?
He's going to
strip them up so they can't transport, just like the rivers, right? Capture them so they can't transport, capture these railroads. And then he gets to Atlanta all the way down to Savannah. What does he do with everything in his reach? Burn it, because what is that going to do to the soldiers?
Make them
lose morale, come home, right? So then we're going to look at the Eastern Front. Does Lincoln have issues on the Eastern Front up here? Yes, because he can't find a general. Who did he originally want to give the generalship to? Not McClellan. Lee, but what happened to Lee? He left. What do y'all know is McClellan's issue?
He was slow.
Slow, and then what else? Perfectionist, right? So when he comes down into the Pensacola campaigns, like it's flooded, right? He's like, I can't go over the river. It's foggy. I can't get the cannons in the right way. Is Lincoln happy with him? So he never captures Lee. So what does Lincoln do with McClellan?
Fires him.
Then Pope deals with the Second Battle of Bull Run. The Southerners win. They press on to D.C., but are they able to get in? No, and they realize at this time, if we can't get in the front door, what are we going to have to do? Go in the back way. And so this is why he's coming through Antietam. And remember we talked about it being a valley. Where does Lee want to march his troops? In the valley, because he has troops, he has horses, he has cannons. Who finds the plans? McClellan. So he has 2 scouts out there that find it with cigars, right? So he's like, hooray, his perfectionist tendencies, he can react, right? And this leads to an ambush, okay? And we see that the Battle of Antietam, Lee flees. But this is going to lead to Lincoln giving the Emancipation Proclamation. He only declares those free where? In the Confederate States. Why doesn't he declare them in the border states? He didn't want to lose them. So were the abolitionists happy? No, because where he should have, he couldn't, and where he couldn't, he did, right? So is there any real slaves freed at this moment?
No.
What amendment really frees them?
The 13th.
The 13th. Okay, so now we see that McClellan's like, I've gotten this the luckiest day, I'm done, right? And so we're going to see that Lee is going to try to go around and get to Gettysburg, because what comes in at Gettysburg? What starts at Gettysburg that goes into D.C.? The railroads. You said river, I heard R, I just went. So the railroads. Can he capture the railroads? No, and so again, July 1st to July 3rd, what's that other battle happening at the same time? Vicksburg. Both of these doomed the South from ever getting foreign recognition, and we read that speech last time. Lincoln changes what we're fighting for. All throughout the war, he's always said we're fighting for. But then in the Gettysburg Address, he says these guys have given their final measure, right? And now it is up to us to finish their task of doing what with slavery? Abolishing it. And a lot of y'all had that in your essay, that Lincoln, the reason why South Carolina seceded is because he was an abolitionist. Was he really an abolitionist in 1860?
No.
It isn't until the Gettysburg Address that he becomes what? An abolitionist. Prior to this, he wanted to stop the extension of slavery in the territories. So now do y'all see, has he changed the war? And when I think about the war and foreigners, do the rich or the poor support the abolition of slavery in Europe and in France?
Yes.
The poor, right? And so now, do they want to come and help?
Yes.
Wait, no.
Do they want to help the South?
No.
No, because a lot of the poor and the masses in Europe have read what book? Uncle Tom's Cabin. So this is the turning point of the war. There's no more foreign aid, and then we get Grant in. Grant's unconditional surrender. What is he going to keep on throwing at Lee? His soldiers. And so basically Grant he follows him down, stalker-like, through Spotsylvania, Wilderness, Cold Harbor, St. Petersburg, and then he gets to Appomattox Courthouse. I want us to look at these terms of surrender. Grant tells Lee and his men, tell me if this is nice or mean. You get to keep your horses. Nice. You get to keep your firearms. Nice. You get a full day's of rations. Nice. Usually at an end of war, are people nice?
No.
But I want you to think, Lee is only the commander of the Virginia Army, right? So does Grant still need to go to South Carolina, North Carolina? And so if he has nice terms of surrender, what is he hoping the other people will do? Surrender as well. And because after this, do they still have to reconcile?
Yes.
And if you go around and you say, haha, y'all are the loser, is that going to be good for reconciliation?
No.
So Grant realizes that if we're going to get this war over, he still has places to go, They still have to reconcile and come back together. This is why his terms of surrender are nice. And thinking about this, when those Southerners go back to their homes, is life going to pick up where they left off? No, because what has happened to a lot of those places? They've been burned down. So do they need their horses to rebuild? Do they need their firearms to get food? And we know one of the biggest disadvantages of the South is they had no what? And so he is realizing not only is this helping me reconcile and get the war over, but this is going to also help to rebuild the South. So when we look at the legacy of the Civil War, we're seeing this is the most men ever killed. This is more than Vietnam that were killed. We're seeing the financial cost just of the North is $15 billion. We're going to see the idea that a state has the right by the 10th Amendment to secede and nullify is dead. Actually, we're going to see this thing in 100 years from now. When we get to 1960, we're going to get into the civil rights movement, and we're going to get to a case called Brown versus Board of Education, saying that the schools should desegregate. And there's going to be some schools that they're going to try to admit African Americans, and do they want them in their door? Are they nullifying a federal law? This is why the Civil War is called the Civil War, and when we get to the Civil Rights Movement, it's called the Civil Rights Movement, because we're connecting these two things together. The idea that states can nullify. Can a state nullify a federal law? No. And then this whole thing, a state could secede, is going to be dead, because that's why the Civil War was fought. We're going to see states' rights that they could trump the federal laws is going to be crushed. American democracy will be tested. Many people were hoping that it would fail, but it tested and it survived. Slavery is abolished by the Emancipation Proclamation or the 13th Amendment. But what we're going to see, you have a reading today, is that they're going to try to reinvent slavery just by another name called the Black Codes. And eventually the Black Codes will be crushed, and there's going to be something else that comes in after that to replace it called Jim Crow, which we'll talk about next week. And our nation's going to be divided for the next 100 years between North and South, and we'll see this rear its ugly head in what movement? Civil rights movement. All right, so there is that. All right, what we're going to do is a couple of things.